gathered here to witness the funeral of mankind's loftiest aspirations. Bow your heads in shame, for you are all in league with the devil's familiar.
She'll be coming around the mountain, she'll be coming around the mountain. Oh, for crying out loud, I can't believe they're raising the price of gasoline again. I don't remember it ever being this high. Hey, Ethel, can you pour me some coffee to drink while I read my paper? Ethel?
Those neighbors of ours are up to no good. They came in late again last night.
Ethel, are you up to washing the Masons again?
You know, I never see them in church, Henry.
Well, not too many people go to church these days. And you know it's football season, and that means there'll be even less people there. You know, I'd skip too if I had a big screen TV like they do. Now, how about that coffee?
Yeah, and how do you suppose they can afford a great big TV screen like that? I never see that man working.
But George has a full-time job. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't even get Sundays off. That's probably why we never see him in church.
Well, I think they live too good for all the more money that family can make. Like I said, I think they're up to no good.
Ethel, you're just paranoid.
I see Mary Ann going shopping all the time, and she comes home with these strange-looking bundles. And, you know, nobody ever sees what's in them. Not even me.
Boy, that's a surprise.
Henry?
Well, what do you expect me to say? You apparently see everything else she does. Well, I bet you could even tell me the color of blue in her socks.
Oh, she doesn't even wear blue. And that's something else. They always dress so warm. Even in the summertime, they don't have on shorts or skirts. I think that's a little weird, don't you?
No. And Ethel, if you're not going to pour me some coffee, would you please give me the pot and the mug so I can do it myself?
What is that she's bringing into the house?
Ethel, get away from that window already.
It looks like an animal. I think they're going to have some crazy ritual tonight. I'm going to call Thelma.
Don't you call Thelma. And what's this crazy talk about rituals?
Well, if you'd pay attention to what I say, you'd know what I was talking about.
What in God's name are you talking about?
Well, last week I saw the Masons lighting a bunch of candles, and then I heard this weird singing coming out of the house. And you know, it wasn't 2 days after that that Jimmy Thompson came down with the chicken pox.
Well, now, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, don't you think it's a little weird, somebody his age coming down with the chicken pox?
For the last time, woman, what is it you're trying to get at?
Well, Henry, brace yourself. I think our neighbors are worshipers of Satan.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I've had my doubts about what you've been brewing in that little attic head of yours, but this is just too much.
Henry, how dare you laugh at me?
Now, Ethel, you've got to have better things to do with your time than to watch the neighbors and make up crazy stories about them.
I'm not making things up. They show all the signs. Have you ever seen George smile? And Mary Ann keeps all that junk in her house. Have you ever seen that? Even the kids show signs of always doing magic tricks. In fact, I heard just the other day that Bobby Mason took her fingernail collection to the school. And all the other kids are afraid of her. Now, don't you think that just says, I love Satan?
You have way too much time on your hands, dear. Now, for the umpteenth time, will you give me some coffee?
Well, Mr. I love the Masons.
Now, calm down, calm down. I don't mean for you to get all upset. After all, I'd hate for you to spout horns and cast me into hell.
Henry William Black, this is no laughing matter.
You're right, you're right. We should notify the president that we have the Antichrist living next door.
God bless it, Henry.
Well, he'd better. I'd hate for the Masons to get us.
Oh, it's just like you to make a joke of things. Well, we'll see who's laughing when the Masons put a curse on you.
Well, why would you curse me? You're the one that's making all the problems.
Do you want that coffee now?
No, I wanted it 10 years ago. Oh, damn it, that's hot.
Henry, did you see that? The Masons have a black cat.
I don't give a darn tootin'. You almost burned me.
Oh, it's only coffee, Henry. Did you hear what I said?
I heard what you said. Good grief, who cares? Now give me a towel before I get myself all smashed
But
up
a
here.
cat is an evil symbol, particularly a black cat.
And I suppose Selma is a worshiper of Satan too. My goodness gracious. All the cats she has over there, it's a wonder that she can even live in that house.
You leave Thelma out of this. You know why she has to have all those cats. Keep the mice out of her cupboards.
Yeah, but the Masons, you know, they use the cats to lure little children into their backyard so they can fix them up for supper.
Well, where do you think all the missing children in this world go?
Into the Masons' jars.
Oh, darn you, Henry. Who could that be?
I hope it's a loony bin to come pick you up.
Oh, Henry, it's Mrs. Mason. What am I going to do?
Answer the door.
No, Henry, well, I don't really...
Answer the door or I'll answer it for you. Good grief. Coffee all over.
Hello. What may I do for you? Hi. I'm sorry to be bothering you so early, but George and I were wondering if you'd like to have dinner with us this evening. I know it's short notice, but after all, we are neighbors and we need to get to know one another. Well,
Hey, we'd love to. We'd love to.
Great. How does 7 sound?
Ah, 7 o'clock. Good. We'll be there on the button.
All right. See you then.
Hey, see you later, neighbor. Alligator.
Have you gone mad?
No, I'm just in the mood for eating little children tonight. I hear they taste like chicken.
can't believe it. They are raising the price of gasoline again. When are they ever going to cut us a break?
You know, George, I get the feeling that Mrs. Black doesn't care for us much.
What makes you say that?
Well, I always see her looking out the window, but she never waves or smiles. She just sits there looking horrified like we're up to no good. That's another thing. She's always at her window, like she's watching us or something.
She's probably just watching the birds. You know, in a few years you'll probably do the same thing.
Ha-ha, very funny.
I wouldn't worry about Ethel. Why would she want to watch us?
It's not that. It's just kind of creepy, I guess. Think about it, George. Someone out there watching your every move, taking note of everything you do from the moment you wake up till the time you go to bed.
Well, I'd be flattered that someone was that interested in me.
Well, maybe I'll have to hire a private investigator to keep an eye on you while you're at work.
Just ask Ethel. I'm sure she'd be delighted to help.
I hear she's a witch.
What?
Everyone at school says she's a witch.
Now, Bobby.
No, really. She has this friend that carries cats around with her wherever she goes. And then if someone goes near the house, they cast spells on them.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, you know, like at my birthday party last week, we got Jimmy Thompson to go step onto her lawn. And when she saw him, she came out and hollering like he was going to burn her house down or something. Then he wasn't at school that day because he had the chicken pox.
She is an awfully crabby woman, and she wears that black cloak, too.
Marianne, you can't tell me you believe.
Of course not. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if she was into a little black magic or something.
I don't believe what I'm hearing. My wife is afraid of the neighbors because she thinks they are children of the devil.
I never said they were affiliated with the devil.
Well, that's what witches are, aren't they?
I wouldn't know.
Well, I'm sure if you talk to Ethel, you'll see that she's probably just a harmless old lady.
I wouldn't be so sure about the homeless part. You remember the incident with the Girl Scout, don't you?
No.
She arrived at our door in tears. Ethel had sent her away, calling her a money-grubbing weasel.
Okay, so she's not the most hospitable person.
Face it, Dad. Our neighbors are freaks.
Bobby.
Well, I think we should get to know the blacks before we go making all these crazy assumptions about them.
And how do you suppose we get to know them? They lock themselves away in that house all day. And I'm not about to wander over there and ask Ethel for tea.
How about dinner?
Excuse me?
I think we should invite Henry and Ethel over for dinner tonight.
But it's such short notice.
It's the perfect time, though. The kids are going to be away with friends, and you and I will be here alone.
I don't know, George.
Oh, come on. At least it'll clear up your silly suspicions about them.
Fine, I'll give them a call right now.
I don't think they have a phone.
How do you know?
Ethel threw it out the window at a cat the other day. I think it's still out there.
Well, this will prove to be an interesting evening.
Ethel, I can't believe you brought your own casserole. That's the rudest thing I've ever known you to do.
Oh, how do I know that they're not going to poison us or try to drug us and take our soul?
Ethel, if you just start tonight...
Henry, just knock on the door and let's get this over with.
Oh, hi, come on in.
I brought you a casserole in case you need it.
Well, that was very thoughtful. Let me take that to the kitchen.
It's still a bit hot. I'll hang on to it for a little while.
Okay, could I take your coat?
Oh, that'd be very nice. Thank you.
Okay. Well, make yourselves at home and dinner will be ready in just a few minutes.
Ethel, if you'd like to set that on the table.
I'll take it. Allow me.
Well, it looks delicious. What is it?
It's an old family recipe.
I see. Mary Ann enjoys cooking. Maybe you two can share some culinary secrets.
Well, maybe we can.
Would you like something to drink?
Hey, I am a bit thirsty, George. What do you got?
We've got some lemonade, some soda, milk, and I think Mary Ann just brewed some iced tea.
Some iced tea would really hit the spot.
Now, Henry, you remember what the doctor said about drinking too much caffeine?
I don't think he said nothing about it.
Oh. Ethel, can I get you something?
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
I'll go with you to check on the roast.
Ethel, what's the matter with you?
That was a bit strange.
Henry, I'm just trying to save you from some unknown fate.
Well, you can't blame her for being a little bit health conscious.
From iced tea?
It's only iced tea.
Well, you heard what he said. She brewed it.
Maybe diabetes runs in her family.
That's what you do to make it, you nincompoop. If you don't stop acting like a paranoid idiot, I'm going to beat some sense into you.
It isn't even sweetened. And why did she bring a casserole? I have enough food.
And why didn't you learn to take the casserole? You acted like you were going to poison.
Don't witches do that?
Mary Ann.
Well, Henry, you can't trust anybody these days.
Oh, I'm just teasing. But she is dressed all in black.
If I guessed like you, I'd poison them too.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Oh, Henry.
Oh, it's just an observation, George. I really don't think that.
Well, I hope not.
Behave.
Here you go, Henry.
Oh, thank you, George. Whoa!
Henry, what's the matter? Are you all right?
No, it's just a little strong, that's all.
Oh, I should have added some sugar. We have some in the kitchen. Would you like me to go get some?
No, he doesn't need any sugar.
I would appreciate some.
But if your doctor...
No, she's just a little overprotective. I'm as healthy as a horse.
Now, Henry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I understand. I'll be back in a minute.
Why don't you two have a seat? Dinner's almost ready, and George and I will bring it out. George, if the night continues like this, I'm never taking your advice again.
Ethel, if you don't stop acting like the Masons are trying to poison me.
Oh, they're just getting used to the place.
I'm not about to give in to their temptations just to be polite.
Henry seems fine.
They're not tempting us. They're just trying to be a nice host and hostess like they're supposed to be.
That's all that worries me.
We don't know what they're doing out there.
Well, I'm sure it makes them even more uncomfortable. They're not there alone, us in here in the kitchen discussing their sanity.
Well, they're probably taking their time to put in just enough poison in the potatoes.
Watching Ethel, you would think they were trying to poison them.
Well, it's taken them a long time to do it.
Nonsense. Come on, dear. Once we start eating, things will settle down.
Let me get the roast and we'll be all set. George, why don't you take a seat and I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, dear. Well, I hope you all are hungry. Mary Ann really outdid herself tonight.
Well, actually,
It smells wonderful. It really does.
I hope it tastes as good as it smells.
well,
I hope you don't mind that we like to say grace before we eat.
Not at all.
let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this food and for this opportunity to welcome new friends into our home and into our lives. May you receive our thanks and watch over our friends and loved ones tonight and always, Lord. May your blessings be with those less fortunate, and may your love touch the hearts of everyone. Amen.
That was very well said. Thank you.
Oh, you know, it could have been praying to Satan.
Thank you, Henry. Well, let's eat.
Would anyone care for some wine?
I would, dear.
No thanks. I have my tea.
Ethel?
No thanks. I don't. Henry, are you all right? Oh, I knew it. You've gone and poisoned him.
What?
Ethel.
I knew you couldn't be trusted. I knew we should never have come here.
Excuse me?
Call an ambulance. Call 911. Call a priest.
Ethel, I assure you.
Henry, are you sure you're all right?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me you're lying. You devil worshiper.
Now listen, Ethel, I'm fine. My iced tea just went down the wrong tube.
Devil worshiper. I see what you people do.
See, George, I told you she watched us.
Now, Mary Ann.
I know what you people are like.
What we're like, you should talk, you witch.
Oh,
Ethel, sit down. You're making a fool of yourself.
did you just hear what she called me?
Well, I would do the same thing if I were her.
Oh, Henry, this is the last straw.
Now, please, let's all just...
I knew we shouldn't have moved here. I told you this whole town was crazy.
Mary Ann.
This is the last straw. Well, I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. It's off to the loony bin farm for you.
Henry, do you really
You
think...
will
I'm
not.
away from my family. The kids don't like their school.
Oh, for crying out loud. Just watch me. George, Mary Ann, thank you for a lovely evening.
Well, let me get your coats.
Allow me. And George, I will not stay here another day.
Henry, I'm not going to put up with this.
Oh, shut up.
Come back
I can't
anytime.
believe I ever listened to you in the first place.
Ethel, where's my coffee?
Henry, did you know that somebody bought the house next door? And they're moving in.
Yeah, let's see how long these people last.
You know, and I don't like the looks of them. They're awfully pale.
So what?
Well, and don't you find it odd that they're moving in so late in the evening?
Well, they probably just arrived in the area and wanted to get a head start on things.
What is that? It looks like an awfully big box.
Ethel, get away from that window.
Henry, I think it's a coffin.
Ethel!
Henry, you're not going to believe this, but I think our neighbors are vampires.
Something else. I want to talk about something else. This subject deeply disturbs me. Something